Once Upon a Time in the West. This is our second Western. This is our second spaghetti Western. This is our second spaghetti Western from director Sergio Leone, who, of course, directed A Fistful of Dollars, as well as the entirety of the Dollars trilogy, including The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which you famously shared one of the worst opinions I've ever had, where you said you preferred A Fistful of Dollars to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I did. That was my hot take.
Yeah, that was a scorcher of a take. And listen, I mean, I love A Fistful of Dollars. I think it's an excellent movie, but The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, absolute masterpiece. And honestly, you know, watching Once Upon a Time in the West now again, I have a hard time saying The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is better than it. They're very similar, and they're both very different. And I don't know how well you remember The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but I think it's worth kind of comparing the two in a lot of ways. And I know, you know, we haven't covered The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on our podcast yet, but I'm also, you know, it's between this and that. It's the more popular of the two films.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping our listeners, you know, chances are they're more familiar with The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly than they would be with this movie, which, by the way, see this movie if you haven't. I mean, this is one of those masterpieces of the Western genre.
It is a
gorgeous film to watch.
It's an epic Western. It is a Western on an epic scale, much like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but even more epic, I would say.
Yeah, they're very similar. They're both around 3-hour movies. This one is about 2 hour 40 minutes, something like that, 2 hour 40 something.
Yeah, 2:45.
Also, kind of like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you have like the three distinct main characters that all have like very different things to do. And there's even, you can kind of see like, okay, harmonica is pretty similar to The Man with No Name. Mm-hmm. Frank, you know, a little bit different than Angel Eyes, but sort of similar. And then I think Cheyenne and Tuco are pretty similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this movie throws a fourth main character in there that The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly has no counter for, and I think that's actually one of the areas where this movie really shines.
I mean, we might as well say it. It's I forget her name. It's Claudia.
Claudia Cardinale.
That's
or
it,
Cardinale
yes.
Or Cardinale.
Yeah,
I'm not
Cardinale
Italian.
Or Cardinale.
I take great pride in that. So if I'm saying it wrong, apologies. I'll say. I mean, I've come around to saying Leone rather than Leone, but I think I still kind of want to say Cardinale.
Yeah. I really only have one complaint. It's not even really a complaint. Is that at a certain point for me, I could feel the runtime of the movie.
Okay, well, it is a very slow movie.
For the most part, though, that's not an issue because you're just chewing all the scenery. You're bathing.
You're taking in all the scenery.
You're bathing in the beauty that is this movie.
Just like Claudia Cardinale later in the film.
Bringing it all around.